Hey everyone, what's up? Well, as you can see, it is a really cold, cloudy day today. So, it was raining a lot earlier, but it seems like the rain has stopped for the day. So, figured, well, we get some time, may as well do some work on this. So, this is a Mantis Mini Tiller that I got for free back in the fall. So I figured I'd go ahead and try and see if I can get this thing up and running. So here's a close-up look of it. So this has a 21.2 cc engine, just like my HC150. Actually, this is the same engine as the HC150, I'm sorry. So here it is, as you can see. The fuel lines, I'm gonna need to replace these because these fuel lines are like rocks and it won't even prime at all. So yeah, definitely need some fuel line work. And I'm also gonna go ahead and rebuild the carburetor too. I do have the parts for that. So yeah, but I mean, everything else on this thing is in pretty good condition actually. So I do have the tines for it. They're in the shed right now, but I just took them off just for storage reasons. Pretty good condition actually. This thing's in really good shape, so it definitely has potential. And as you can see, I'll go ahead and show you, it does have pretty good compression. Yeah, as you can see. So I think this will run. And also too, since I haven't been making a lot of videos lately, you guys probably don't know, but I also got these guys too recently. So the first one is this 2006 Echo PB200 handheld leaf blower. So as you can see there, this is powered by a 21.2 cc engine, and it was built in 2006. So I put a new carburetor on it, and this thing runs perfect now, and it's in really good shape too. So yeah, you'll definitely be seeing this in some more videos, as well as this guy here. So this is another project. So this is a Echo SRM 2400. So basically this is a older Echo trimmer. I got these two for $30 a piece. So yeah, it was a good deal. I decided to go ahead and buy both of them. So this one here I'm gonna fix up after I get the Mantis running. So here it is. As you can see, it's in pretty good condition. However, I'm definitely gonna have to do some carburetor work on this thing. As you can see, the throttle kind of sticks. See, I have to force it back. So that's not very good. But that's an easy fix. And I'm also gonna have to do some fuel line work on here too, because this fuel line here is not too bad, but it is kind of getting hard. But this black one here is really hard. So yeah, so that's gonna need replacing, and this primer bulb, as you can see, is no good. It's actually falling apart, as you can see, just from doing that. So that's not very good, but we'll get it running. And as you can see, it has the same choke setup as the Mantis over there. So basically, that you pull it up for choke, and then you put it back down for a run. So yeah, so there are those two. So let's get started on the Mantis now. First thing I'll do is pop the air filter off, so I'll just go ahead and unscrew it. And here's the air filter. Sorry, put that there. So that just pulls out, and as you can see, it could use a replacement. There's a bit of dirt there, but I do have some a box of these that I bought, so that's not so bad. So now the next thing I'll do is go ahead and remove these two screws here. So you can use either a Phillips or a flathead. So let me grab my screwdriver here. I'll just go ahead and put the Phillips bit on. So there, just go ahead and undo these screws. Sorry, I'm trying not to block the camera here while I do this. Okay, let's see, is it loosened up? Nope. And these do take a while because they are pretty long. Come on. And I'm sorry about the chickens in the background, but there's not much I can really do about that. Come on. There we go. So now that just pulls out like so. Set that off to the side. So now we'll go ahead and pull the carburetor out, and as you can see just how dirty that is. Yeah, that's really gross in here. So I'm gonna have to clean all that up real good. So let me put the camera back here. So just go ahead and pull this carburetor out like so. Disconnect the throttle assembly, so just push it down, pull out, and then I'll go ahead and disconnect the fuel lines, which was easier than I thought it would be. And ooh, yeah, that gasket is garbage. Look at that, it just pulled right off. So that is not going to help us. But hey, the carburetor is off of there. So let's go ahead and get this on the bench and we'll take it apart. Alright, so here's the carburetor. So as you can see there, it is a Zama, let's see, what is it? C1U, actually it's kind of tilted that way. C1U series carburetor, and the model number on this is K27B. So let's get into it. So I'm going to use my Phillips screwdriver and just go ahead and remove the primer bulb cover. And I do have some spare primer bulbs, so I'll go ahead and replace this one. So here's the primer bulb anyway. I mean, it's fine, there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm gonna go ahead and just replace it since I'm rebuilding this carburetor. So now I'll go ahead and disassemble or remove the primer base. Okay, then these two screws will come out. And now something to keep in mind is these screws that hold the primer base on and the plate are two different sizes. So the screws I just pulled out here for the primer base, if I tilt down here, as you can see, these are shorter than these, than the screws that hold that on, so keep them separate. Anyway, moving on. So now we'll go ahead and remove this piece in total, like so, and Here's the inside of this carburetor. As you can see, it's not too bad. It's actually a lot cleaner than I thought it was going to be. So, anyway, here's the meter and diaphragm. So I'll go ahead and pull that out. So, not too bad in here. So here's the meter and diaphragm, which is a little stiff, so it could definitely be replaced, because you can see, if you listen, it sounds like I'm tapping on cardboard, so you don't want that. So we'll just set that off to the side. And also too, something else to keep in mind is there is actually a gasket on here. So if I go ahead and separate this somehow, let's see. Yeah, a lot of times these really get stuck on there. Anyway, here we go. Like so. As you can see, there's a gasket. So since I have a rebuild kit, I'm just going to replace both of them. So here's the inside of the carburetor. So here's your needle, and this is your needle lever. So I'll go ahead and remove that. So there's just a little screw here. Make sure you hold it down like that when you remove it, otherwise because there's a spring under here and it will come flying out if you're not careful. So again, just be mindful of that. Now you don't need to remove the screw completely, so I'll just go ahead and remove it like so, and then just pull these parts out. And actually it came out, so I'll just go ahead and set it off to the side. So as you can see, the needle is still stuck in there, but here's a little spring, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. Now, very important, you do not lose these parts if you are going to reuse them, but since the kit I got has all the hardware and everything inside of it, I'm not too concerned about it because it comes with all new parts. But if you just got a partial repair kit, or if you're just cleaning one of these carburetors, you do not want to lose any of these 3 parts. And that would be the needle inside too. So just go ahead and tap it out, which you can see here it is. So if I just hold that up to the camera, that's your needle there. So again, if you are using these parts, do not lose any of those. So anyway, there's that. So now we'll go ahead and disassemble the other part of the side of this carburetor. So this is the pump side. So again, you got 2 screws here, and you can use either a Phillips or a flat, depending on what you have available. Either or, it doesn't matter. So anyway, there's that. Put that there. And now we'll just go ahead and pull this apart. Ooh. And yeah, as you can see there's gas in there. And yeah, that smells really bad in there too, so that's not good. So the question is this gonna separate for us, or is it gonna break apart like sometimes they do if they're really bad? So this one here actually came off in one piece, so that's good. So this is your pump diaphragm. Now something to keep in mind with these is you want to check these little lips here. Alright guys, so little change in plan. It turns out the original carburetor here, as you can see, I put it back together, but it's having a lot of issues. So I'm thinking it's a air leak or something, because as you can see, this primer bulb would not fill up with fuel, and it's well, actually a little bit did get in there. But as you can see, it's not being pushed down or pushed back up, so I'm not gonna waste any more time on that. So what I did was I went on Amazon and got me a HIPAA carburetor for it. So here it is right here. As you can see, it's if I just hold it up to the camera here, actually I'll set them aside next to one another. So let me just look here. It looks to be a pretty good knockoff, actually. Yeah, because as you can see, there's that part there. Here's this part, which, yeah, looks pretty identical, actually. So, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and install this carburetor. But this kit also came with new gaskets, as you can see, a spark plug, which I won't use, and new primer bulbs, air filter, and even fuel line kit with the grommet and all the lines. So let's go ahead and install the stuff. Alright, so before I install the carburetor, I'm going to go ahead and replace these fuel lines because, as you can see, they are really stiff. In fact, to give you an idea, I have a new fuel line set here. As you can see, this is how they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be nice and flexible, but whereas with these, they're not. They're very stiff, which is not what you want, obviously. So anyway, let's go ahead and zoom that in. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove this grommet here. So just grab a flat screwdriver, just kind of reach down in here and pull out. Just careful when you do this, you don't want to damage the tank or the grommet if you are reusing it, but I don't think I'll be using this grommet, so I'm not gonna worry about it. So basically you just want to kind of pull it out like so. Just be careful when you do it. So basically just kind of pry all around like so. Oh, I'm sorry about that. And then, whoop, one of the fuel lines already pulled out. Wow. Look at that. And that's definitely not going to help us. Alright guys, so got the old fuel lines off, so now let's install the new ones. So basically we'll just slide the fuel filter in the tank like so, and just stick this down in here, and hopefully this grommet will pop in. Come on. It can be a little difficult, and if it is, just come in here with the screwdriver and carefully push down on it. If you have a dull screwdriver, that would be better because you don't want to damage this by mistake. Let's see here. Now it is a bit difficult to do. Come on, you can do it. Hang on. Man, that is hard. Alright, finally got that back in. So now we can go ahead and install our carburetor. So here's the carburetor. So we need to connect the inlet with the line with the filter in the tank. We need to connect that to the bottom nipple here. which is a little stiff because it's a new carburetor. And then the top nipple here, this is for the return line, which is this line here. So we'll just go ahead and connect that in like so. And that was easy. Alright, so now actually make sure you tuck your fuel filter away like so. Now connect your throttle cable. Make sure you have this end of the throttle assembly with the little hole there. Not sure if you guys can see, but zoom in on that. As you can see, there's a little hole, so that's where you want to connect your throttle cable. So just go in here and slide in like so, and that's it. Alright, so I got the fuel lines all connected properly. Now I did have to cut them a little bit just to shorten them because they were a little too long, so I just used some cutters there. And now it's working fine. As you can see, I did pre-prime it, so as you can see, it is working now, so that's good. Alright, so I'll just go ahead and slide the gasket on the end here like so. Like that. I'll just go ahead and tilt it up. And just slide this part on. And I'll slide our other gasket in the back here. Just like that. Yeah, I have used these carburetors before, and I have had pretty good luck with them, so figured I'd give them another try on this machine, since it's not really a machine I'm going to be using a lot, so not really too concerned about it. Alright, so now we'll just go ahead and tighten down these screws, like so. And now I'm going to tighten them evenly. Like so, and then I'll come back here and do the same on this one, just run it down. Until it gets tight. Then I'll come back and just torque them down, like so. Alright. Alright, so just slide the air filter in like so. Put it in like that. Grab the little wee nut and just tighten it down. If I can. There we go. And just tighten it down like so. And just like that, our new carburetor is now installed. So let's go take this thing outside and see what it does. Alright, so I got some fuel in there. So I put some VP small engine 50-to-1 fuel in there. So let's see what happens here. Alright, so the first thing I gotta do is make sure the switch is on, which is right here. So, turn it on. Choke it. Give it some primes. 3, 4, 5. Alright, primer's working great. And let me just make sure that this didn't come disconnected, the kill switch, which that looks good. Alright, so let's see what happens here. on. Start down just for runs, so yeah. That's not good. Huh. Huh. That's not good. Alright, so I got it running. I just had to adjust the carburetor a little bit, but it's running decently now. Yeah, it is kind of a little boggy right now, but I'll have to do a little more adjusting. But I'm happy it runs for right now. So yeah. So I'll try and do a little more adjusting, and then maybe what I'll do is put the tines on it, and I'll see if I can find an area of the yard somewhere to try it out. Alright, so we're just going to till this little area here. See how well it does. Turn it on. So, not too bad actually. Let me get the camera off and take a look. So you can see it digs very well actually. And you can see just how fine the soil is. Yeah, this area does have some rocks in it though. So it was kind of catching on those. But still did not too bad. It's definitely going to be a good tool to have on hand for like my parents' garden and other areas that might need tilling. So yeah, that carburetor HIPAA really works. So I highly recommend checking out these carburetors if you don't feel like rebuilding the one you have, or if it's just too far gone like this one was here. So that's all I got for today. If you enjoyed, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Alright everyone, thanks for watching.